Splatoon 3 is here. It's a game that I have been insanely addicted to since the first game on the Wii U back in 2015, and now in 2022 we are here with Splatoon 3, and well, not much has changed. It is still the insanely fun, satisfying, addicting third-person shooter that it has been since 2015 on the Nintendo Wii U. That remains the same. All of that remains intact. There's a lot to dive into with Splatoon 3. It's the Splatoon series. I fell absolutely head over heels in love with this franchise when I first picked it up on the Wii U, thinking Nintendo and an online multiplayer shooter from Nintendo. It has got that Nintendo ink written all over this. It's fresh, stylish, colourful, family-friendly, kid-friendly, ink splatting for turf. It's got that Nintendo formula all over it. And that definitely isn't a bad thing, because this series, more than any other multiplayer shooter out there, has kept me coming back. It's a game that I will always come back to and always have an absolute blast. One of the best things about Splatoon 3, and this is just a very small thing, very minor thing, you can ignore the news anchors right at the beginning. When you hit start, you load into multiplayer, you load into the game, and then you're bombarded with dialogue from these news anchors talking about the rotation of the maps, talking about Salmon Run in ranked battle, what's the new rotation of the maps today, and you're just bombarded with that. All you gotta do is press the L stick to keep them talking in the corner of your screen, and then you can go about your day, completely ignoring them. A great thing about Splatoon 3 though, and a great thing about Splatoon 2, was Salmon Run. But in Splatoon 2 you could only access it at certain times before it shut down, and then it would come back again and shut down again. But in Splatoon 3, it's 24/7 Salmon Run galore. You can go in there and access it whenever you want. That amazing mode that has you teaming up with 4 players online to take down waves of enemies with random weapons being selected each wave, and then in the waves you'll have to defeat so many enemies and so many bosses that'll come at you. They'll drop eggs, and then you go and collect those eggs and then put them in the basket, and you have to collect a set number of eggs each wave before the timer runs out to continue to the next wave. And there is 3 waves in total, with potentially a big giant salmonoid boss at the end, which just completely changes things up. So you're all working together to defeat this boss. And the good thing about this is that you can actually use the eggs you've collected and launch them at the boss as a bomb, which takes out a good chunk of his health, and it's always satisfying to do. So you go around splatting turf, splatting other players to get the most turf to win the game, and to defeat other players, get points at the end, rank up your gear, your catalogue, your character. But your ink will run low. You will run out of ink the more you shoot. The more you ink turf, you will need to replenish that ink by diving in your colour's ink and swimming in that ink for a few good seconds for your ink to replenish. Whatever you do though, don't swim in the enemy's ink. I feel that's a given right now. You probably know this. Now, the multiplayer as a whole, huge improvement over Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. Overall, quality of life, quality of everything, really, it's just a better experience. Granted, it does have issues at the typical Nintendo connectivity issues. Players will randomly disconnect from a game midway, and then you're took back to the lobby and you'll have trouble. You'll have connection issues finding a game. This has happened more frequently than it should. But the game, once you get going, it's fast, it's frequent, and I've very rarely had to wait around for anything to load as well, which is really welcomed for this game. In Splatoon 2, you would always be waiting around a while in the lobby for a game to load up. It's just so much better now to do simple things that make a big difference. Multiplayer is pretty much the same iconic, great multiplayer it has always been, with regular turf war battles, inking as much turf to win, ranked battles series, and ranked battles open that will have you doing an objective based thing to win, like clan bits, tower control, rainmaker, and splat zones. With the more wins you rack up, the higher the rank. You'll be protecting towers, a certain splat zone area, grabbing the rainmaker, then dunking it to the goal, and so on. And ranked is great, sure, but Turf War is the place to be. It's always been the place to be. Why isn't Turf War in Ranked? Because it's not the main game. Ranked is the main game. Turf War is just regular battles. And there's a bunch of new weapons here as well. You've got this samurai katana that splats paint, that flicks paint everywhere. And every piece of gear also comes with its own ability. Like, you can travel through ink faster, you can refill your ink faster, you can do this better and do that better, and also as you progress you'll be leveling up your abilities as well and gaining new slots. Every gear that you get has a certain number of ability slots attached to that gear, all with their own strengths. And it's been made so much easier to jump in with friends, be it from their ghosts in the lobby or by the friends menu. Everything just feels more open and freeing. You don't feel limited when you are matchmaking. You can freely walk around the lobby and shoot things with target practice and practice with the gun that you're currently using to prepare yourself for the battle ahead with your weapon of choice, with fast loading times and a solid 60 frames per second, with more of the same weapons on offer really, but there is a few new ones there added as well, with added abilities attached to weapons for things like the Zipcaster, turning into a big crab, activating a bubble that acts as a giant shield around you, and so much more that can really give you an advantage. And your abilities, when you use them right, it can really turn the tides of a game in the last minutes. It may be more or less the same as previous games when it comes to multiplayer Turf War and so on, but it's just much more fine-tuned here. The key to Splatoon I have always found are the quick and easy simple matches. And matches in Splatoon 3, what makes just Splatoon as a whole addictive is because the matches are quick, that always keep you wanting more each and every time, with its chaotic ink splatting fun, with new titles, badges and banners to earn as you progress as well, that you can swap out that represent you in the game, that will appear under your player. Now in the lobby area, if you decide to stay with the same bunch of people at the end of a game, you decide to go it again, you will remain in the lobby and you will be able to see the other players' ghosts while it links you with another game. Splatsville. What can I say about Splatsville? It's brimming with life. All the inklings and ocklings all around. It's huge compared to the previous games, as you can freely have the freedom to move around this large open space, and it just feels so full, freeing and alive. Now, the single player. I'm assuming it's good. Haven't played it yet. It's a multiplayer shooter. What do you want from me? Now, going back to Splatsville, you can explore Splatsville to the heart's content. You can see messages from other players that they have drew, and it'll appear over their character. And there's stores that you can go in. Now, the stores, it will have you locked in, listening to some dialogue before then being able to purchase new weapons, clothes from tops, shoes, faceware and hats, as well as new additional things for your locker. Lockers are a new addition to Splatoon 3. Being able to buy new stickers, locker colours, statues and toys to decorate your locker however you see fit. For other players that you have recently matched with and had a game with, they will be able to view your locker. Your locker essentially represents you, and that's why you can customise it with different things inside. You can change the colour of the locker, you can add loads of stickers, you can put guns in there. The guns that you're currently using, you can put your gear in there, your shoes in there. You can add different shelves in the locker and customize it the way you want. And you can show off to the world with no impact to the game at all, no importance or relevance to the game at all as a whole. But it's cool, it's fun, it's a fun feature to have, I like it. Another new game is Table Turf Battle, which is a Tetris style of card game that'll have you placing cards down to ink as much turf as possible on the board, with different cards offering different shapes. It's an alright mode, but it's really not a mode for me. And that's pretty much it. Splatoon 1 was cool, that's what started the franchise, it was epic back then. Splatoon 2 made minor adjustments, but really this just felt like DLC for Splatoon 1 really. But Splatoon 3 is a big leap forward in my personal opinion, while the multiplayer remains somewhat the same, with much needed improvements across the board. Anyways guys, I appreciate every single one of you for making me a part of your day, clicking on this video, liking this video, and just checking out my video. Anyways guys, I'll see you next time.